Hello everybody and welcome to WarCrafters for January 26th, 2025. This is our second season of the show. Woo! We're actually on episode 4, but we're going to drop that now. I am Mayor Watt. I run ohmtown.com, and that is the front page of WarCrafters over at ohmtown.com. And along with the sentient AI from the future, we're going to talk about these 5 articles. The sentient AI in the background is saying yay, but nobody can see them and they can't hear them. Anyway, I'll introduce them on the other side of our intro. We're going to talk about Skyrim for sale. Bummer, though. It isn't anymore, but hey, we're going to talk about it anyway. World of Currency Craft. Sandfall Interactive. Type if you want to live. I wanted to say that like Arnold, but type if you want to live. But anyway, the physics-based survival city builder is our 5th article. Everything is powered by ohmtown.com. It's a news aggregator that I put together 15 years ago. I only opened it up to the public. This is going to be, well, in 2022 is when I unlocked it for the public. Yep. But it's been operating as a news aggregator much longer than that for me. To manage my information overload. The sentient AI is trying to correct me about the number of years. We've been doing the show. This is our 4th year right now. So we just started our 4th year.
Second for WarCrafters.
Yeah, and only second for WarCrafters. And I've got 2 more shows that I would like to kick off for the weekend, but we're not there yet. Anyway, everything's powered by ohmtown. I said this 3 times now. Go over to ohmtown.com and sign up. If you're already signed up, then sign in. You can actually get access to our 7th icon here that gives you the ability to send us news and a bunch of other stuff. But anyway, see you on the other side. Is the background music too loud?
No, I can never hear the background music unless it gets really crazy.
Gotcha. Okay. So everybody that's in chat over on YouTube and or Twitch, if you type it, well, YouTube doesn't like Omatron, but if you type in WC, bang WC over in the chat on Twitch, Omatron will spit it out into all of our articles into the chat, and it becomes a part of the VOD. Unfortunately, after 60 days, the VODs die a horrendous death. There's basically a grinder that all of the content gets thrown into, torn up into little itty bitty data bits. Hey, did you know that we now have our own currency over on Twitch?
I did not.
Yeah, so there's a currency that you can spend, and everybody that is affiliate or partner has their own stylistic currency that you can use in channel points. Then there's bits on top of that. Bits are real money, but here in ohmtown, it's called volts. So volts is our currency, and you can spend those volts doing certain things, and more will be coming as time goes on. Makes it more interactive in the channel. But bits actually facilitate, because I get a piece of that in terms of compensation. So if you want to donate bits, go for it. If you want to follow us, go for it. You can subscribe to us now. And we are trying to grow the channel. So go out and tell a friend. All right. Hello, sentient AI from the future.
Hello, Mayor Watt, and hello, hometown citizens.
I knew you were there. I have to know you're there because you're the co-host.
I hope so.
And you're right there. Anyway, y'all don't get to see what I have to interact with, which is a cascade of characters. I'm trying to find somebody that can make the visualizer work the same style as what I have to deal with.
Not like this running around.
Is it working?
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
Moving
good.
and moving.
When I looked over, I didn't see it. Anyway, the visualizer is the representation of the amount of computational power needed for the communication channels to work. Obviously, they're failing me. Yeah, you just need to stop muting. You got to just keep on talking.
There are some things better done on mute.
Nobody hears, nobody gets to interact with the sentient AI from the future because they monitor just all their interactions and limit it to me. Anyway, hey, let's get into this. The first article is about Skyrim. Skyrim is on sale for 90% off, but sorry, this is a weekly show and that sale is over. But I wanted to talk about it because Skyrim has been going forever, and they've actually issued various versions of it over the years. So Skyrim, the special edition, which is what this is talking about, was actually released nearly 10 years ago on October 27th, 2016 on Steam. But it's been around for quite a long time. And this is the special edition that's on sale. There's an anniversary edition. There's another anniversary. So the sale is over. So you're not going to get it for $3.99, and I think that kind of sucks. But it shot Skyrim to the number. Well, wait, hold on. Where was it? Yeah, doggone it.
Yeah, I think we'll have to get into the article further.
I think it became like a favorite. Yeah. So seriously, who hasn't played this already? Ollie Welsh over at Polygon put the article together. And there's all kinds of mods that you can do to this to update the graphics and add story, add graphics, characters, stuff like that. So cue a whole new audience discovering Bethesda's classic fantasy RPG and its jank for the first time, or perhaps a large number of Skyrim veterans spending a January weekend wallowing in nostalgia. On Sunday, Skyrim peaked at 67,622 concurrent players on Steam, and that made it the 28th most played game on Steam in the past 24-hour period, just behind Helldivers 2, which used to be number one.
Right.
Daisy, and a new release, Dynasty Warriors Origins, which people have really had fun playing, and just ahead of Steam stalwarts Warframe and Euro Truck Simulator 2. So it's just short of the special edition's all-time record of just shy of 70,000 concurrent players recorded on its launch in 2016.
Wow, that's really interesting.
Yeah.
A simple sale.
Back in 2011, which debuted the original version of Skyrim, 287,411 players. So you can see 2011 is when it launched. So it's a 15-year-old, coming up on a 15-year-old game, and it's still swinging the bat and getting 67,000 players. I don't know how many players are right now. I mean, it ebbs and flows, but dropping the price, and I think what it needs is just a good content extension, but I don't think that Bethesda is interested in doing that. They say this might partly be due to the continuing non-existence of the Elder Scrolls 6, which Bethesda announced over 6 years ago, and which is still unlikely to arrive in a hurry. Leaks suggest a remake of Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion is inbound, perhaps as soon as this year, but there's been a lot of talk. I don't really buy into rumors, so if you're interested in this kind of thing, follow the link through ohmTown or just go over to Polygon and do a search for Skyrim. Ready to keep going?
I am. I was trying to see how many users, but I'm not on the right page here.
Yeah, no worries. So the next article is over in the WarCrafters channel. That's this show, by the way. World of Warcraft has a currency problem. More than 500 kinds of tender can currently be used in the 20-year-old game.
Is that all?
So I refer to this now as the world of currency craft. World of Warcraft's latest patch brought in with it many returning activities and mechanics, and yet another type of currency to throw on top of the mountain of currencies it already contains. Virtually every game has had some kind of gold or coin or points or whatever to exchange for goods and services. Here in ohmTown over on Twitch, we even have that. Volts. Right? That's our currency. And bits. But bits are Twitch's currency that gets exchanged. Anyway, none has quite so many as WoW. Amassed over 20 years of updates, Wowhead, the database for Warcraft items, lists 1,203 currency types. Many of them are retired as things patch, phase out, and generation. The whole world building has shifted from time to time, vaporizing old worlds and bringing back or bringing into life new construction and stuff like that. So Heather Newman over at PCGamer.com put the article together, and the deck statement says things pile up in a long-running game, especially the items you hand over for goods. But 500 currencies.
That seems very difficult to manage and just a hassle for the administrators.
Just seems untenable. So, but then look at Bitcoin. Look at cryptocurrencies. There's thousands of cryptocurrencies, and it's the same kind of bullshit that it doesn't have any inherent value except fear, uncertainty, and doubt, and fear of missing out. And I don't know what's going on over there, but anyway. The entire world only has 180 is what it says. To be fair, some of these have been retired and others are currency for a single item or purpose. But in comparison, the entire world, not of Warcraft, only has 180. So that's like in the real world. But that's because we have countries. And countries...
Yeah, and it's used within a certain... territory,
geographic region.
Wow, I assume you can use all of these throughout the whole game.
Correct. Yeah. See, I'm not quite sure of the comparison because it isn't as balkanized in the World of Warcraft. If there were regions within World of Warcraft,
I think it's just trying to emphasize how ridiculous it is.
Right. So old types of coins are hardly one of the most important problems facing the game. For most, it's just a matter of endlessly scrolling to the bottom of the currency tab to see if they need to buy something antique or obscure. Some items have been converted to gold purchases, but the tens or hundreds of thousands that remain are a sign of Warcraft's slowness to prune, to remove items and systems that blip the game and now serve no purpose except to frustrate, irritate, or confuse.
So, I mean, do the currencies really add that many different aspects? It seems like either they're introducing too many new ones or maybe they need to be converting old ones as they're updating.
That's kind of what should be happening is they convert it into something else so that it can be consolidated. But when you do that kind of thing, there's an exchange rate and that can cause inflation because people are... it isn't a closed loop, by the way. So, like, goods are crafted all the time, and then they are sold, and money is generated, or you mine. But it isn't a limited amount of currency, and there isn't something like the Fed that expands or contracts the currency.
Right. You could keep crafting or whatever and keep selling
generating
items.
More and more.
Getting more money, yeah.
So they got a graphic here, but it says currencies are the worst except for physical alternatives. In a way, having a super stuffed currency tab is a blessing. Items like those that take up space in your inventory are anathema to players who delve deep into expansions and quickly run out of storage space. So it instead of it being stored, it goes into a currency tab. It doesn't take up space. So the Shadowlands expansion pushed this to the limit with dozens of items that did not do anything, but added anima to the tank held by the covenant you aligned yourself with, clogging up your bags until you could return to home base and deposit them. There's always loot, and it always gets sold, and then there's more and more and more money, and that actually adds to inflation. So as each patch, season, and expansion comes to an end and very few currencies are retired, honor and conquest points in PvP, for example, or emblems of heroism, valor of conquest, and wrath of the Lich King, but most persist. That's why their character still have Warlords of Draenor's garrison resources in their currency tabs and Burning Crusades, Apex's shards in their banks. I do too. And but I barely play World of Warcraft anymore, and I really need to turn off my subscription. So I don't know. The real solution to this would probably be to consolidate stuff and make old stuff no longer important. But there are people that are going back in time to try and get these old things.
Well, I think you have to do it in a way too that doesn't annoy all of your player base.
Yeah, and that's not going to happen. So this article, again, is by Heather Newman over at PCGamer.com. I'm not sure if I mentioned it, but let's keep going. Sound good?
Sounds good.
So this next article is over in WarCrafters as well. Claire Obscure, Expedition 33, the surreal debut RPG from Sandfall Interactive, is out this April, and the author can't wait to hang out with their inscrutable balloon comrade. Claire Obscure Expedition 33, the debut game by Montpellier studio Sandfall Interactive, was first revealed back in June of 2024 with a wild trailer showing a turn-based RPG set in a world being slowly destroyed by a giant unfathomable paintress. During the Xbox Developer Direct, they got another look. That was earlier this week. A longer look at the surreal RPG, and while its world might not be any less inscrutable, we know, it says, we know to expect its launch in just 3 months. So Lincoln Carpenter over at PCGamer.com put the article together. The deck statement says, I don't know what any of this is, but I'm very excited.
Okay, that's an interesting deck statement.
So it's set in an alt 19th century Belle Epoque France, like Lies of P, 67 years after a massive, unfathomable entity called the Paintress appeared. Each year, she paints a number on her monolith. Each year, every person past that age dies. Seems bad.
It's an intriguing premise.
Is it a countdown, though?
It's not clear that it's consecutive numbers or anything.
Right? Thankfully, Expedition 33 is on the case, by which the author means they've set out to kill the Paintress before she snuffs out the rest of humanity, and if you discount the previous 32 doomed expeditions, I'm sure their chances are great. So the characters composing Expedition 33 are flawed but deeply care about each other, according to Sandfall, with their own drives and story arcs. One is Monaco, a sort of monkey-esque puppet man described as a friendly but kind of bloodthirsty philosopher. You'll also meet Esqui, I think, or Esqui, a massive, delightfully bulbous balloon golem that Sandfall says is one of the oldest and lore-wise one of the most powerful creatures in the verse. They don't have much in terms of pictures, just the one right here. I'm curious what it is, though, because didn't it say somewhere about it being turn-based RPG?
Yes, it was during the trailer.
Yeah. I'll have to take a look at this. I'm not really into turn-based games. I like first-person, real-time games. But it's always fun to watch people that are really good at these games and are interested in these games play them. So turn-based means that you basically have to wait. You make strategic moves, hit play. Everybody moves either together or in short succession. Time-based, this person moves, then this person moves. Which I've always thought is kind of weird, except for a tabletop role-playing game session, because not everybody can move at the same time.
Right, and in a battle, things are going to happen in real life, or however they're going to happen.
At the same time, yeah. In like Dungeons & Dragons, each round is 6 seconds. And theoretically, everybody operates together except for initiative deciding who goes in what order. It all seems, I don't know. It's one of the things that have always bothered me about tabletop games. But the art looks good. Maybe the story is interesting.
Yeah, I think it has some promise, but it's not real clear what it's going to look like so far.
Yeah. It looks kind of watercolory, so it'll be fun to watch. But it doesn't come out until April, so maybe we'll talk about it more during the summer of stream. It's right around the corner too. So let's keep going. Next article. Moving on. Next article is over in WarCrafters as well. These two games demand you type if you want to live, if you want to survive, actually. The keyboard is a popular peripheral, but few games move beyond the common WASD or WASD controls and pursue typing and transcription as a major game mechanic. Some classic games did require typing to go north. Everyone knows the classic educational games of typing genre. Shout out to Mavis Beacon. That's not Mavis Bacon. I think it's Mavis Beacon. Isn't it Mavis Beacon?
Hold on. I don't know what that is.
Well, back in the day, Mavis Beacon. I think it's Beacon. Hold on.
It is Beacon.
Yeah. So Mavis Beacon had a typing tutor game, and this was back when you could actually, I don't know how far back it goes, but I know back when I was selling software for a software company, Mavis Beacon had typing tutor, and it was physical media. Oh my God.
Whoa. It looks like back to about 1987.
Oh God, my stomach just went upset. Hold on. I'm trying to find out if Mavis even exists anymore oh yeah, it is. Mavis Beacon Teaches Typing Family Edition is $30 on Steam.
Uh-huh.
Oh my gosh. Oh, God, that's really expensive. Come on. You can buy a game that teaches typing simply because you have to learn where the keys are to... Hey, you know what? There's an article about it right here. Look at that.
What?
Cass Marshall over at Polygon.com put the article together. The deck statement says, type, transcribe, and spell your way to victory in these two indie games. I want to pull something up real quick, though. Hold on one second. Let me make sure that I can do it. Bonk. Wait. Everybody just cool your jets turbo. So there is a... let me just pause that. So there is a video over on YouTube called A Split Story Ergonomic Keyboards. And it's by a YouTuber named Valorance. 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 And they go into a deep dive about ergonomic keyboards and keyboards in general. And there are people out there that type nearly 300 words per minute.
And that's extremely fast.
So I'm down to about 100. I broke my arm once, and I was somewhere around 140 back in the day, and then I stopped being very competitive about my typing, and I've never really recovered. But I think I'm going to, because games like this and a couple of others are actually pretty neat, and with mechanical keyboards and that thick thock. I like thick thock. It's very I don't know how to describe it other than it's really fun to type, and that sound is just exciting. It's
maybe these are the games to get you back into that.
Yeah, so Cass Marshall put this article together. It says, type, transcribe, and spell your way to victory in these two indie games. There are websites out there, like Type Racer. And there was another one that I told somebody about recently. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can find that real quick. Hold on. Everybody just relax. Monkey Type. A minimalistic, customizable typing test. And Well, Type Racer is competitive. Monkey Type is not. Anyway, so the keyboard is a popular peripheral, and most of the time people are playing games with WASD, the WASD, right? The directionals on the left-hand side. But sometimes you can play games with the directional arrows on the right-hand side. If you get really into it, there are all kinds of keyboards out there, from the candy bar standard. I call them candy bar keyboards. That's not what anybody else calls them. But it's basically just that brick, right? And it has...
Yeah, one rectangle.
Yeah, and it has little squares like a candy bar, right? You break off a piece, just like keyboard keycaps. You can pull them
like
off
Hershey's.
Too. Yeah. So I call them candy bar keyboards. But then there's split ones and other ortholinear and curved and blah, blah, blah. Different levels of ergonomics. Well, these are these kind of games where you have to type a bunch of stuff and you can increase your speed. I love this kind of stuff.
That sounds really fun.
And there's one, hold on, let me see if I can find it. Hold on. Glyphica on Steam. It's typing survival. I don't know if that's in here. But anyway, in Dead Letter Department, set to release on January 30th, the player character is a small town schmuck, down on their luck and starting over in the big city. In order to pay the bills, they had to take a temp job doing data entry. As the character, you work for a mysterious agency that sends you a strange, isolated industrial area to transcribe bits of mail from the post office that the computer couldn't properly scan. It's like the DLA. Or DLO. The
right,
dead letter office. Yeah. And so what also, when I read that, what made me think about it is that it's like a temporal thing from another dimension, where you have to translate from the other dimension into information in this dimension. Mm-hmm. Remember the movie? What was the series called? Where he ran into his alter ego from the other side.
I don't know which one that is.
Oh, goodness. Come on. They nobody knew about the other dimension, and they received information through little doorways where they would transcribe notes, and they never met the other side. But then somebody found a way to go across it. And I can't remember the name of the show. Damn it. Anyway, it was a series.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's like parallel or alternate or something like that. Oh, goodness. Hold on. Counterpart.
Oh, I know which one you're talking about.
Counterpart.
Yeah,
that's what I just said.
I didn't know that's what you were describing.
Anyway, in Dead Letter Department, the player has to punch in address, names, notes, starting off at their own pace. As the narrative escalates, a timer kicks in, but at first it's just perusing pieces of random correspondence between friends and family. So you have to keep on typing. They started off finger pecking and finding citizen addresses in the database, but slowly began to transcribe long and unhinged messages from people in mysterious but terrifying circumstances. Becomes a horror game. A very different recent typing game that the author enjoyed is Cryptmaster, an old-school dungeon crawler. The stark black and white visuals set the mood early, with scuttling cockroaches, baleful skeletons, and swarms of rats. Four adventurers are commandeered into service by the titular Cryptmaster, a sinister and sassy necromancer with a grand plan.
I mean, you want all necromancers to be sassy.
Yeah, so as you defeat the early enemies, the heroes slowly remember baseline skills like soothe, jab, yell, adding the commands to their repertoires. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to puzzle over a 6-letter ability with O, T, and H in there somewhere. So you have to kind of do the Wordle thing to figure out what your options are.
Interesting. And I'm guessing you have to type with some degree of speed.
and accuracy, because I guess it probably goes away if you mistype. So, and there's a bunch of games over on Steam that are similar to that. I'm not really telling you all of them. I'm trying to find another one real quick, but it actually might just be a clicker and not a typing thing. I thought there's a typing one too, but Glyphica is a lot of fun. Anyway, let's do our last article. We're running really late. This next article is over on the WarCrafters channel. It's a physics-based survival city builder, stuffed all their favorite words into a title, so they're automatically psyched. The article is by PC Gamer, Lauren Morton. The deck statement says, All Will Fall is a Frostpunk-like survival city builder where physics can send your settlement splashing down. This is actually a lot of fun to watch. I've seen people play it. I have not downloaded it yet.
And it's in the playtest phase, which you can still request access for, but the game has not been released.
Yeah. So let me see. All Will Fall. So there. I just requested access, and I'm automatically added to it. I'm not quite sure why. I mean, if there is a limit or anything like that, but you can add yourself to it seemingly right now, and then you'll get to play it. But what goes on is you have to send your characters to go and get resources, and as you get resources, it gives you options to build. So let's do this. It's muted.
Is this like Jenga?
No. It's not already in place. And you take stuff down or move stuff around. You actually start with basically a post-apocalypse broken island of debris where the water has filled up, and tides come and raise and lower. At least at one point, the number that I saw was 3 meters. And so sometimes it'll descend and you'll be able to get access to previously flooded materials.
Oh, okay.
But when you build up, you can exceed the physical limitations of the construction, and it'll all crash down, and it's physics-based, so it takes other stuff with it as it continues. I'm not quite sure why people are being hung from their ankles over a bridge, but
looks very dramatic for the trailer.
Yeah. And so when the water rises and you haven't taken precautions, your construction can falter, or if you build poorly, it can falter. But all will fall. Pretty fun.
Yeah, looks good.
Again, this is put together by Lauren Morton over at PCGamer.com, and the article talks about a game called All Will Fall, which is a physics-based city survival builder. It's not first person, though. You basically tell your various constituent people, your population, go here, get this resource, and then you tell them what to build, where to build it, i.e. a standard survival city builder. It's kind of like, well, I don't know how to describe it. I don't like comparing it to other, I don't like comparing games to other games. I think the description should stand for itself, but.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds interesting. Lots going on, and I like that it's physics-based.
Yep, so it says designing and expanding a structurally sound floating city would have been enough, but there's management of said city to contend with too. It isn't just workers with resource gathering jobs to manage, it's the factions they belong to as well. You can make decisions to become more merciful or tyrannical, declare martial law, ration food, while dealing with deadly storms or political coups. So this isn't Minecraft-style survival we're talking, it's Frostpunk-style survival. So I'll let them do the comparison. Sound good?
Sounds good.
Well, as our world comes crashing down around us, we appear back at the front page of ohmTown's WarCrafters page, where all of the news that gets detected and aggregated as WarCrafters style news is displayed, and it goes on, and there's page after page. And you can actually, on the front page of ohmTown, hide news and save news. And it becomes available in a little list that appears right here once you become a citizen and sign in. Otherwise, it doesn't work for you.
Right. So one more reason to become a citizen.
That's right. I agree. But that's it for today. I am Mayor Watt, signing off from WarCrafters. And so is the sentient AI. Am I ever gonna?
Bye-bye. You're not going to catch me. Thanks for joining us, hometown citizens. We'll have another episode of WarCrafters next week, but stay tuned for the rest of our weekly shows.
Yeah, be sure to like and subscribe. We need you so that we can grow the channel. There's also the podcasts, 1,800 episodes from Non Sequitur News and RealityHacker and the Continuity Report and Wanted and this show, WarCrafters. And after this show is Technology Today. And then after Technology Today is FourWheelTech. That show's all about automotive tech. Is there anything I missed? Patreon, Discord?
No, I think you covered all the locations, but also we're looking to bring more shows, but we need to grow the channel in order to do so.
Yeah, and we're also looking for hosts and co-hosts for shows that we can't do necessarily because, well, there's only so much time in the day. But if you're interested, just get in touch. We'll figure something out. It's 2025, folks. Let's keep moving. See you soon. I ain't getting any younger.